Hello, what's happening? So I'm hoping to make this a small video. I basically want to read you the introduction to the new book. But I feel like I need to ramble a little bit before I do that. And sometimes the rambles go on longer than I anticipate. This video might be a two-parter or three-parter so I can get everything I want to in here. First of all, with the last book, Grave Dancer's Reunion, being done, that closes off the Hourglass series. If you all have the books, or if you all by chance buy them or go and read them, if you start, and they're the ones that are on Amazon right now, if you start from the beginning of those poems, read those books, read the novel, The Grave Dancers, with everything in it, the misspellings, the mistakes, the stumbles, all of it, there's a story there of me dealing with my shit, my demons, stuff that happened to me. And I wanted all those mistakes and misspellings and everything in there because that was the narrator telling the story. It's almost a piece of artwork. In my head, I've taken those books and tied a string around them on all sides and tucked it away into a nice little box. It's done. And it was time to find a new narrator in my head. Me, my voice. Probably this one right here I'm talking to you now. Because as you know, when I tell stories, I change voices all the fucking time. That's me. That's what I do. But I didn't want all the news stories and everything I do to have that old narrator in me. That narrator that always felt like the boy inside of him that was beaten and all that shit. Needed protected. I needed to tell that story over and over. That was what the narrator was doing. The monsters inside of me said I would never get past that. They were wrong. And I did it. I had to come out to Boulder, take a breath and shut down and think about everything. And I did. This is the introduction to the new book. Odds are the book will be called It's a Good Day right there. And yeah, it'll probably be a mix of short stories, some small poems, even some thoughts. That's the way I enjoy writing these things. You can take your time and listening to it, reading it, doing whatever. So, here we go. We're at 3 minutes. Hey, I didn't do too bad. This is just 2 pages. Let me take one more drink because I feel a hiccup or something coming on. Shake it all out. Here we go. New music, different notes, and a new voice. Sometimes you need to listen. Sometimes growing quiet is the best way to be heard. Sometimes you have no idea how to do these things or even how to begin. The narrator in your head may give you 1,000 different stories with 1,000,000 different voices. But it is still telling the story, and it does not want to stop to listen to you or to understand you or anything or anyone else. The narrator tells the story the way it wants to remember it. That is the voice inside your head. We all have that voice. We all have that kind of narrator. Sometimes in life we need to change the voice. Sometimes we need to find a new narrator. That is incredibly hard to do. The old narrator is still telling the story and does not want to let go. And this is where we are. This is me finding the new narrator in my head. It needs to tell the story of the old narrator so that the old narrator may move on peacefully. Perhaps even enjoy the new stories from the new narrator. That's me. The monster was gone. It no longer stood in the doorway between the real world and my mind. That doorway was now free for me to either sleep or stand up and walk through that doorway and see what comes next. The old narrator kept telling me I couldn't do that. I had faced every demon inside of me and written about it, or at least I thought I had. I believed I did everything I set out to do to find a balance inside of me. I believed more than anything I wanted to calm the animal inside of me. I believed I wanted to embrace the romantic instead. I now realized that what was needed was to find a balance between the two. Animals don't like to be calmed. They like to be what they are. The monster no longer stood in the doorway, and yet I could still feel it. I could still hear it. I could still hear a voice inside of me. This voice was stronger than any other voice in my head. When I heard this voice in my head, I could taste blood in my mouth. I could feel my warmth slipping away and that cold, dark place trying to take its place. The voice was not my voice. This was not a story inside of me that was singing to get out. This voice was cold darkness and death. This voice was bitter and angry because I kept trying to move forward. It hated me trying to be a better person. This voice hated me trying to understand the song inside of my heart and the world around me. This voice almost won. It was neck and neck at the finish line, and it was me stretching my neck out, veins pulling at the skin, teeth pulled back in a snarl and stretching forward as far as I could to break the ribbon first. I think you can understand what I am saying here. You have that voice inside of you as well. Everybody has that voice. The important thing to remember is that you are in control of that voice and narrator, and you are the one that can change how the story is told inside of you, around you, and what comes next. This is the new music between the music. This is different and stronger notes between the notes. This is my new song. Let's create the new scene and see where this new dance takes us. That felt great to write. Brand new chapter, brand new stories, brand new life.